On the fly.
There we go.
We
We are live.
are we?
Welcome, welcome. We have three distinguished gentlemen here. Um, oh, we're not doing two lies and a truth, are we? That's my first
No.
one. Russell, how are you doing today?
I am doing great, guys. How are you doing?
Oh, great is a little excessive, I think, but good for you. That's awesome.
Well,
Russ.
okay, if I'm going to be honest, look, I'm in California, and I think it's I mean, you guys are going to laugh, but like what the temperature I think right now is, it's 51 degrees. So that's basically like subarctic freezing temperatures for us.
51?
So just what? 51, yeah. So
well, it's supposed to get up to that later this week here, and when it does, people will be out in t-shirts.
Yeah, well, you see, I've got the long sleeve shirt, and because I mean, Californians, I'm like freezing to death.
So it's currently 30 degrees here, according to my phone. Nope, sorry, 25. 25. It didn't update. There we go.
Yesterday it was up here. It was like 11, but it felt like -2 is what it said. So it's like okay, that.
Yep.
Okay, darn it! I need to start taking this off. Then.
So Russell, you barely got on in time because I know you had to pick up your daughter. So I didn't get to make my request of you, which was I wanted you to wear your T-shirt / sweatshirt of the T-Rex wearing a Christmas cap.
Oh, the Christmas! I have no problem. I could probably throw that on in 2 minutes.
Only because we're going to ask you a question later, and I really like my chances.
Is this how we're getting guests now? Is you pre-screen them for this question, and if they answer the right way, quote unquote, the right way?
So Russell, just keep this in mind.
Okay, got it. Okay, all right. So he's got the. Okay, got it.
So you want to get the question out of the way now, Ro?
Sure, go ahead, man.
Let's start with a bang.
All right.
So Russell, hopefully it goes the way I think it's going to go. You never know.
I hope so now.
I want you to envision that you're going down the main drag of your city.
Your lovely, warm city.
And in this city, you are sitting on a saddle, and that saddle can either be on a T-Rex or a Griffin. Which one do you choose and why? Don't let me down, Russell. Don't let me down.
Well, okay, and I have to say this, regardless of what you would have shown me, obviously it would be the T-Rex, 100%.
Okay,
Griffins are overrated.
Are they?
Thank you.
Really? Are they?
Well,
thank you, Russell. You can come back on anytime you want. Standing ovation.
All right.
See, all you Griffin people, you got to jump through hoops now. But Russell, he gets to go to the head of the class.
T-Rex all the way. I mean, I'm watching Jurassic Park, and I'm always rooting for the T-Rex every single time.
Well, I mean, the kids are pretty whiny.
In the case of Jurassic Park, I kind of root for the T-Rex as well.
For sure.
So anyway,
I kind of secretly rooted for the T-Rex, though, even when he was fighting King Kong a little bit. Can I say that?
I never liked King Kong, so yeah, I'm
okay,
good.
Hey, gotcha.
Yeah, two monsters, beating each other up. I don't really have a favorite in that fight. A necromantic T-Rex. Ooh,
that's a good idea right there.
Well, if you read the Dresden Files, he actually rides Sue, the T-Rex from the Field Museum, in one of the books.
Nice.
Well, they do that at night at the museum too, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, it stole it.
All right. So enough about the Dresden Files. Let's talk about this stunning piece of artwork behind you and what that's about.
Oh, let me get out of the way a little bit for what you can see. That is the full art cover of my latest book, Ashbound Oaths. So there we go. That's the cover itself. The image behind me, that's the wraparound cover, so you can see the back. Love it. As we were talking before this, I got lucky, got it off of a gentleman on Fiverr named Jesh Art Studios. He did a fantastic job, captured the image exactly like I wanted it. And so, yeah, I couldn't be happier with the way it turned out.
Yeah, these are pretty awesome covers, gotta say.
Yeah. So is this like a scene from the book, or just something meant to tempt people to get the book, and one of those covers where you're always kind of going through reading it going, when does this happen? When does this happen? And find out it doesn't?
No, I hate that. No, but so yes, it is meant to tempt people to buy the book.
No,
But I'm with you there. I hate the covers that are misleading, just like you said. And you're going, you read the entire book and you're like, I never saw that. No, what you see right here, I guarantee you will see this confrontation or read this confrontation in the book. 100%.
And I'm assuming the one on the left is your hero.
Depends on your perspective of the book, I guess.
Okay, all right.
It depends on. Let me just say. So the four-armed demon, his name is Rorgas. So this book is the sequel to my first book, Relentless Blade.
Oh, let's talk about the first book first. Then.
Yeah. So So these are the heroes of Relentless Blades. Well, at least two of them. That's Grimlock on my right, looking at it, the big blue scrawn orc-looking guy, and then Vigilantin, the disgraced knight turned thief, on the left. So those are the two main protagonists in Relentless Blades. And again, this scene comes directly from. There is a scene of this in the book.
So I have a ridiculous question for you. Gron there, does he come from Orc City, and did John Douglas allow him to leave?
I love the question. He escaped Orc City. I don't know. He didn't get a visa. He wasn't allowed out, I don't think. But he did. He managed to break his way out. As you could see, he's blue. He's not the typical green orc. But John very much, I think, condones his actions, if I can speak for John. I saw John in the chat somewhere. So.
Yeah, that's what I had to ask.
Yeah.
So basically, I'm seeing if he's still in the chat or not is why I'm asking this question. That's what people don't realize is that I ask questions later to see if you're still around, so we know. I keep notes. Oh, shouldn't say that. Never mind.
You gotta be in trouble. It's like Mike's like Santa Claus. What's the basic premise of? Is this going to be a trilogy?
It is planned to be a trilogy. Okay. The only thing that could alter that is if I can't fit everything I want into this third book that I'm writing right now. I'm at almost 80,000 words. I'm thinking I'm close to 2/3 done with the third book. So it's going to be much. These first two books were each about 116 to 118,000 words. So this last book is going to be bigger. And as long as it's not too much bigger, it'll wrap up in 3 books.
When did Ashbound Oaths come out?
That came out last month, the 18th of November. So it's only been out about 3 weeks.
And you're already 80 grand into the next one?
Yes. But I started it, obviously, well, maybe not obviously, but I started it before, Ashbound Oaths was released. So I had already started plugging away at it.
Wow. How about that? That's the way you do it, Mike. You just have to write every day. I think that's the key. Yeah.
Now, I admit, I will tell you, I do not write every day. I wish I did. I pretty much write when I have the opportunity. So some days I knock out 1,500 to 2,000 words, and some days I don't write a thing.
So what keeps you from writing?
Life, but I'll admit sometimes just being lazy, the allure of the couch and flipping through the streaming channels, or maybe reading another book, or one of my menagerie of animals sidetracks me or something. And so there are various things that pull me away, and sometimes I don't muster up the discipline to sit down and bang out the words.
Beauty of being an indie author is you don't need to.
Yeah. I mean, when I first started writing Relentless Blades, I had the idea that you hear all the time. I think you've probably both heard this, where someone will say, if you write a page a day in 1 year, you'll have a book written. You'll have 365 pages. You'll have a book done. And so that's what I literally did. I gave myself a full year to write Relentless Blades, and that's what I figured. Like, okay, yeah, I think I can do this. I can write a page a day and get this book done. And I finished the first draft in 4 months, I think, something like that. And so, then as it's gone along, though, I still remember that, and I try to give myself grace. I've been kind of stressing with this third book, though. I feel like I'm a little behind, and because I've wanted to kind of keep a release cadence. So, Relentless Blades came out October, I think it was 21st of 2024. And Ashbound Oaths came out November 18th, 2025. So I would love to get the next book out in that fall time frame next year. I'm feeling like I'm a little behind, but as you said, I'm an indie author. If the time slips a little bit, yeah, I feel like it because I feel like this book's going to be bigger.
Yeah, but I mean, if you already got that many words down, do you have the cover of the next one already set up?
No, I have a concept in mind, but I don't have it set yet. I've got an idea of what I want.
How long does it take your artist to come up with something like what's behind you?
I think that took him about 3 or 4 weeks, because he got the basic image down like within the first week and a half, but then there was a lot of iterations where I had him like fine-tuning certain things that I wanted to have him get just right. Like the dragon in the back, for example, up here, he was meant to just be kind of partially obscured by clouds. And he had a couple at the beginning where he had like 2 front legs sticking out, and it looked weird. So like it was little things like that. It was nothing major. Like he had the 2 major images done pretty well to my liking, but it was things like the whole background. At first he had it more of a volcanic ashen rocky background, and I said, no, this really takes place more in the winter time. There's a castle, there's snow, trees. So it was that kind of stuff where we just iterated back and forth.
Well, he took your input really well, at least, as opposed to being super literal about it. Yeah, there you go.
No, that's one thing I'm very specific about the covers. Now, I know everybody has differences how they work with their cover artist or their designs. I'm very specific. So, like, I had uploaded him just a sketch of like, okay, I want Rorgas, the demon guy. I want him up kind of this way, and I want the Farashar, that's what I call the angel-looking female. I want her more down here, coming at each other. I want him to have the blazing swords. I want him to have a fireball in his hand. So I gave him very specific instructions. Right. He had very little that I left up to him. I mean, there's certain color choices, certain little things was fine, but all the major points, I was very specific.
It worked out really well. So
yeah, I love it.
Russ, we're going to let you handle this question.
Hello, A. Campbell. I actually went through Fiverr, and the gentleman's name is Jesh Art Studios. I don't know if I can link it at some point, but and I know we were talking earlier, a lot of people have had some issues with Fiverr. Sometimes they don't get great responses, but I've been lucky. He worked well for me. A reasonable price. And that's what I'll say just about good cover art. I think a lot of people have to understand good cover art costs money. Now, we all define what a lot of money means to each of us, depending on our own economic situation. But by and large, I've noticed for myself, and I've noticed other authors I've talked to who I've loved their cover and thought, wow, that's fantastic. they almost all invariably have spent a decent chunk of change. Like you don't get a cover like this for $100 or $150 or something like that. You're paying. You have to understand, you're paying for quality cover art.
Now, Campbell, you can go to places like getcovers.com as well. They do nice work. It's pretty reasonable. It's photo manipulation as opposed to, pure art like that. But, depending on what you're looking for, there's options out there. You just got to scout around and see what you like. I will say from my own, what Russell was saying, Fiverr can be a little hit or miss. Sometimes what they put up as their work doesn't get represented well, but I've had covers done from a woman on Fiverr, and for 6 books, she was great. So,
and I would say, look at the books, especially from indie authors, and if you like their covers, reach out to them. Does anybody know an indie author who would be like, no, I'm not going to talk to you about my book? I mean, is there any indie author who is not going to be like, oh my God, my book exists? So just reach out to them and say, who did this, and have ideas, and just, go that way too. That's probably the best. Richard, he found his on DeviantArt or Facebook, or most recently from X.
I tell you what, I have put out calls for artists a couple times on X, and I ended up just getting inundated with people who and they all do like anime style art. And I guess it's my own fault for saying, if you're an anime artist, please do not respond. Right?
No, but you need to.
And I didn't. And that's all I got were people who did that kind of stuff. And it's just not my favorite, even a little bit, kind of art style. For not for what I want for a fantasy cover,
No, and that is super, but it's good that you bring that up, because that's super important. I tell anyone who asks me about it, you have to know ahead of time what style you want for your cover, so that if you go to DeviantArt or you go to Fiverr or you go wherever, you know that the person you're speaking to, unless they're lying, unless their portfolio is a lie, if their portfolio is accurate, you can tell if they can do the style you want. So you see my book covers, my style in my mind, I'm older school, so I go back to the old D&D type covers with people like Larry Elmore and Keith Parkinson and Hildebrandt, those people. So that was in my mind. So I can go through those portfolios quickly, and I can see them, and I'm like, that won't work. And I had a lot of people would message me, oh, trust me, I can do it. And I'm sorry, I'm not calling you a liar, but I'm not going to just trust you. You either have a portfolio that shows that you can do the art in the style that I have in my mind, or I'm just going to move on.
But on another note entirely, is anybody else hearing that kind of popping noise?
No.
It's not crack, because every time Russell talks, I get a big crackly kind of noise.
Nope.
And so that's just me. Okay, that's weird.
So I have another random question. Russell, are your books on audio?
They are, and this is maybe controversial. My books are through Audible. They're a beta. I think it's still a beta with the beta through Amazon. So they are AI narrated right now. They had emailed me, probably early October or something, and asked if I wanted to opt in and try it. And as I didn't have any audio for the books at the time, I said, okay, go ahead. I'll give it a try. And what I will say, though, is the AI narration is nowhere near as good as a human narrator. I try to keep my audio prices super low because of that fact. I call them serviceable AI until I can get around to hiring a true human narrator, which is on the agenda.
So follow up to that, which you're leading me right to where I want to go. Son of Sonnet, who actually narrated Proxima Station for me, he told me that last year he put out a call and he said, "Hey, I'll do the first chapter of your book for you as a demo, and then if you like it, go ahead with me." And he said that 5 out of 11 authors ended up going ahead with it. He said he put it out now and he's getting crickets. So he's asking if there's any authors, if you want to talk audiobooks, very, very good price for audio. If you want a free demo, Son of Sonnet, if you can't find him on Twitter or Instagram, then contact me. I'll give it to you. But he's actively looking for people. He wants to do some demo work to build up his portfolio. So you'll get a free chapter up to, if your chapter's 40 pages, he probably won't do it all. But, you'll get a reasonable sample to see if you like him or not. So if you're interested, definitely look up Son of Sonnet, no spaces, 2 N's and Sonnet. But anyway, just want to make sure I threw that out there. He reached out to me, and I said I can definitely put it out there in case people are interested. So there you go. Don't leave now. Wait till the show's over, and then go. Then go talk to Son of Sonnet. And like and subscribe while you're there. Here, look at that. I remembered, Ro.
Man, the first 20 minutes.
Awesome. Pat myself on the back for that one. Anyway, Russell, we're here to talk about you. So I'm done with my commercials.
Are you sure? You don't want to hold up your book real quick?
Yeah. Well, if you insist. Yeah. Proxima Station just gave away over 2,500 ebooks over the weekend. You can get it.
I was one of them.
You can get it in audio for a very reasonable $7, or you can get the hardback, paperback, whatever. I'm happy to, whichever way you want it, or get all of them. Just to make sure you're covered. I'll support you in that.
But right now, if you're in the book buying mood, you should probably take a wander over to Russell's space and pick up one of his books because
Yeah, actually, yes. As a matter of fact, because my physical copies, both the hardback and the paperback, are on sale for both books. $12.99 for the paperbacks, $19.99 for the Relentless Blades hardcover, and $20.99 for the Ashbound Oath. So I'm only going to keep the sale running for another day or two, I think maybe till the end of tomorrow night. It's been running for like 3 or 4 days now. I think I started it Thursday or Friday last week because I had a lot of people say that, the cover art's beautiful and they were hoping to get a deal on the physical copy. So here it is, folks. The deal is ready, perfect in time for Christmas. So grab them while it is, because I don't think I'm going to lower the prices on them anytime soon after this.
And are those from you or are those Amazon?
Those are through Amazon. They're through Amazon at the moment.
Okay.
I have it on Ingram Spark and Barnes & Noble as well, but the primary.
But I mean, basically you're telling us go to Amazon and buy it, or not to contact you directly for physical copies.
Yeah. Yes, at this moment, until I can talk my wife into wanting us to mail everything out from our house, because I looked into it. It's too expensive at this moment for us to buy a PO box. It's crazy expensive around here. It's like $100 a month or something. I'd have to sell until I'm or $90 a month. I'd have to be selling, I don't know. Yeah, $30 books a month or something to justify being able to use it to mail them out. Yeah, it's crazy expensive.
Where I stopped my post office box because I just didn't feel like paying the $70 a year for it.
Oh, if it was $70 a year, I'd do it in a heartbeat here. But this is California; it's crazy expensive.
Man, even the real estate in the post office is expensive there. Damn.
Yeah.
So whereabouts in California are you?
I am in Sacramento.
Okay.
And what do you do during the day, Russell?
I am a contract manager for the state of California.
Okay.
One of the departments.
Yeah, that's always fun.
It's one of those jobs that I say it pays the bills.
Right.
Yep.
It provides us a comfortable living, but it wouldn't say it's my passion.
Well, I think most people are in that predicament, right? I mean,
yeah.
Yep.
Unfortunately,
I know very few people who are just absolutely living their dream job. That's a rarity.
Yeah, that is true.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I don't fall into that category, unfortunately.
So what gets you into writing and writing fantasy specifically?
Well, I have always wanted to write. And I was always pretty good at English through, high school and into college. Um, but I was lazy. I mean, I don't know how else to say it. I'm like many people. I would have ideas and, oh, it'd be cool if I wrote this or this. And throughout the years, I would sit down and I would write a chapter or write 2 chapters. And then I just get distracted and let it fall away. But I always kept coming back to the Dungeons and Dragons characters that me and my friends had played through the 80s. We were like the Stranger Things kids growing up, right? And so we had played Dungeons and Dragons. And so the 2 characters that are the main characters of my books, Grimlock and Vigilantin, are mine and my best friend's Dungeons and Dragons characters. So as the years went by, I'd always think, I want to write a story about their adventures. And finally, about 2004, 2005, Wizards of the Coast ran a writing competition where for the Eberron, their Eberron campaign setting, this new campaign setting had come out the year before. And so they had this contest where you could submit your writing submission, and the winner would get to write the second novel in a novel line based in this campaign. So I put my package together, sent it in, bit my nails, waited for months, and I didn't win.
You were how old at this time?
34.
Okay.
Yeah, 34. I didn't win, but I got in the top 1% or something. That I was in like the finalist group, so I got to get some personal feedback from their editor, and he said the story was great, gave me a lot of feedback, and then I ended up. So I had this whole outline. I had the kind of a synopsis, but what I didn't have is the setting, right? Because to write my own book, unless it was going to be fan fiction, I didn't want to do that. I would have to do the hard work of doing some world building. And so 20 years longer went by. And throughout the years, I'd have my wife and I'd have my friends, well, why don't you have the synopsis, you have all the outline, you have this, why don't you just write what you had submitted? I kept telling them, because I'll get sued. I can't use the setting. There were some characters from the game in there. And so what I ended up doing is I waited until 2022, maybe, something like that. And I wish I could tell you why or how I got motivated, but I finally sat down, I wrote a chapter, and then I realized I didn't know where I was going, and I was about to give up again, forget it. And then I said, no, I'm gonna write the world building Bible. So I spent the next month, the whole month of September into October 2022, wrote a 50, 60 page like world Bible, I called it. And Zaroon was born, the world of Zaroon, and the kingdoms and a lot of the monsters and the history, 6,000 years of history was all born. And then, from October till February or November to February of the next year, I wrote the book.
Nice.
Yeah. So, I always like to tell people you're never too old to chase your dreams. But I didn't start writing it till I was 52, and I didn't publish my first book until I was 54. So,
yeah. And now you wish, man, if I would have started this when I was 34, I could have just like a ton of books done right now.
Oh, I kick myself all the time for just, and I don't have anything that I can blame it on other than just being lazy, just looking at the work of building the world, and I just didn't do it. I don't have any excuse, really.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I get it. You read, I know that you're a big fan of R.A. Salvatore. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, you read his book and you're like, well, I'm not going to do that. And so you're like, okay, so you don't start because, you're like, if that's the level, and sooner or later you have to, okay, the first draft's going to suck, but I'm going to do it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's intimidating to get started. And I'm very much lean more towards the plotter side. So I had the whole outline and wrote like a 3 or 4 page synopsis. But always in the back of my mind was like, oh well, you write a couple chapters like you have 20 times in the last 10 years, and you'll kind of just trail off. But I wish I knew. If I knew why I got motivated and was able to bang it out this time, I would publish that book and make millions of dollars telling everybody this is the key to
Right.
to unlocking your potential. But I don't.
So you write your outlines. I used to be big in outlines, and then I'd start writing, and my characters would be like, "No, I'm not going to do that," and I'd end up throwing my outline away. So you don't have that problem. You get to tell your characters what to do, because mine don't listen.
Yeah, I like to say I rule my characters with an iron fist, but so I look at it like I'm a plotter, or I guess I should say I'm a pantser who plots. So I do have the outline. I know the beginning, middle, and end of the story. I know the beginning, middle, and end of the trilogy. I know how I know the trilogy is going to end. I have all of the high points plotted out, all the major plot points. So they're going to get captured here. They can become gladiators. They're going to escape. They're going to go here. I have all that, but I don't have it in detail. And so when I start writing it, yes, I'm very much start pantsing it. And they will tell me, well, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. But so far, at least in the first 2 books and so far in this 3rd book, they may make twists and turns, but they still end up somehow at my end point. I like to kind of describe it like maybe plotting a road trip. If I'm going to leave Sacramento and drive to New York, and I plot the stops along the way, I may deviate as I'm going. I may take side trips and whatever, but I know I'm still going to end up in New York. Now, maybe a week later than I planned. I don't know, but I still will end up there. That's how my stories go. They meander, but they still hit the end point.
Yep, that's a lot like what I do. I always say I need like 4 or 5 signposts, and then I'm writing to that first signpost, and I write towards the second one. And what happens between them, who knows? We'll negotiate as I go.
Exactly.
Everybody's got a chapter 18 in them, so we'll all get there eventually.
We do.
Campbell's looking at 45. Do it, man. I published my first book 2 weeks shy of my 50th birthday. So
there you go.
Get on it. You're good.
Okay.
I was 50 when I published my first book, so yeah. Look at Campbell, the youngster.
That's right.
Getting started early.
God, dang, get off my lawn.
Yeah, I like to say, I mean, look, you got all 3 of us. We're all 50 plus first-time authors. There's no time that you can't start.
Just, like you say, life, gets in the way a little bit, but those are the things that, like Mr. Campbell says, there is, the life experience that you kind of draw upon to do that. And, if I would have tried writing a story about D&D characters when in my 20s, it just would have been a slobber fest. It would just been horrible, So
I suspect the same would have been the case for me. There must be a reason why guys like us, it takes us a while to get going, and there's a reason for that. We may not know it until we get here, but that life experience that we have comes out, and that's what, like Lucas said, fruit's got to ripen. Yeah, I mean. Yeah.
On the plus side, when you're older, there's a long list of people who I just can't stand, and I get to kill them all fictionally. So, there's that. Change your names a little.
There you go.
You have so many issues, Mike. You really do.
I have all these swords behind me. Did you not think I had issues?
I love them.
Get some help for that. So your next book's coming. That's going to finish off your trilogy. What's after that?
After that, I've been noticing a trend. I don't know if you two have been noticing it, where at least it feels in the indie space that there's a lot of folks publishing novellas, and they seem really hot right now. And so I think that's what I'm going to do is look at my world and probably maybe pick a couple more minor characters and maybe write a few novella adventures set within the world, but with some different characters.
You got to tap into that Gen Z, Gen Alpha ADHD.
Yeah, but it's for us too, right? I mean, I don't know about you two, but I'm definitely not Gen Alpha. I'm, Gen X, but I still get distracted by the darn phone and the streaming and the video games and whatever.
So I will tell.
Go ahead.
I'll tell you. And once again, I will hold up my book, Proxima Station. This is only 140 pages. It's a novella. It's in Sphinx, actually. It'll be cut here this week, I'm sure. But anyway, when I first went to my first Comic-Con with his book, I was with James Maxey, and I was like, well, it's a novella. I'll put it over here. I'll charge $10. And he goes, no. Put it with your novels. Charge your $18. If it doesn't sell today, you can always move it over tomorrow. And it is actually a selling point now when I say 150 pages or less. You can finish this in an afternoon. It is my best-selling book this year because it's short.
That's what I've noticed. Matter of fact, I made a video a couple weeks ago on what I call the dog walking author, my little YouTube videos, saying that exact thing. I've read 3 novellas this year from indie authors. They've all been great reads. I think one took me 2 days, but the other 2 I read within 2 to 3 hours. And there's something cathartic, something just really appealing to being able to know you can sit down and consume a whole story in one sitting. I love it. Sometimes you're in the mood for some big chunking book that's going to take you a week or more, but sometimes you just want to be able to get something in and out.
So
I wasn't even thinking about it. I shoved it in my mouth.
So we have another controversial question for you.
Okay.
So Tom Bombadil, is he a net plus or net negative in Tolkien's writings?
Okay, you guys are gonna hate me, and I have seen you ask this question, and I meant to do a little more research. I haven't read The Lord of the Rings in 30 years, 35, 40 years. I don't think I'm qualified at this stage to give you a good answer to that question.
What's your gut tell you, Russ?
I don't recall being enamored with him, if I'll say that. To me, I feel like it could be cut. But again, that's with the caveat that it's been decades.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, you've already answered the other question wrong. You may as well go 2 for 2.
I mean, Russell, if you're 2 for 2, you got them both right. I'm looking for a new partner now. If you just lose a little more hair, we can make it happen.
It's happening. It's happening.
Oh.
Yeah. Thanks. This is going to get me thrown out. I know. I'm going to be ostracized from the indie community.
No, it's a fair point. People come down on both sides of that. I think far more than people pick the T-Rex. I think.
Oh, the T-Rex. I can't understand why people wouldn't pick the T-Rex, but
I know.
I don't get that, but.
Yeah. So I just tell you a little piece of advice, Russell. If you ever do start getting canceled or whatever, just reach out to John Douglas, and he will show you how to ride the wave, and you'll sell a ton more books because of it.
Oh no, I watched his video he had. He was talking about that, and I think it was with you guys. I was watching that video you had with him, and if I get canceled, I'm just gonna go to John and I'll tell him my character escaped from Orc City, and I'll have the whole Orc army on my side. So
there you go. So, have you considered entering any contests with your book, your first book, like Spiffbo or?
I haven't really. I haven't explored that. I know a lot of them they charge, and I'm always skeptical or a
Oh,
little like whether
Spitbo is
they're
free.
scams or Spitbos. Okay, yeah.
Spitbo is the gold standard. I could not say a negative thing about it if I wanted to, and if you know me, you know how unusual that is. I put Becoming a Druid in there. It got cut, first one in the group, but I mean, it was a great experience. It actually got me to start talking to other authors because of it.
Oh,
So yeah, highly recommend it.
oh, well, I definitely want to check that out.
The last time they did it, they had, I think, almost 600 people apply and only 300 make it, so they had to do a lottery. I did it the year before when they filled up all 300 spots in 41 minutes. And so then they're like, you know what? This is starting at 8 a.m. in the U.S., but that means it's all kinds of crazy times everywhere else around the globe. So that's why they said you got 24 hours. Sign up, we'll do a lottery and see who actually gets in, which is a much more fair way of doing it. But yeah, highly recommend it. You'll get your book reviewed by at least one decent-sized book blogger. You'll get exposure. Get access to the Discord where you can talk to other authors and commiserate. There's nothing negative at all about Spiffbo. Absolutely nothing negative that I could tell you.
Oh, well, I will have to. Oh, yeah, maybe. I'll check that out. I'll have to check it out then. Spitbo, huh?
So,
SPFBO.
Ryan has a question here. And Ryan, the answer to this question is it depends who you talk to.
Yeah.
I will plant the flag for Bald&Balding and say that we're against it. Yeah, don't.
Yeah.
Not in your book. If you use AI to help you develop something that that you want to try, but don't put it in your book.
I use AI like the example I always give is for the one series I'm going to write one day. I was like, okay, what's going to be in a medieval port town? And so I asked it, and it said, okay, here, these 8 things would be in the port town, plus you have all the guilds. I'm like, thank you, AI. What would the guilds be in the medieval age port town? And it said, okay, these are the guilds, plus you'd have the regular craftsmen. Okay, AI, what would the craftsmen? So, but by the end, I had a list of 38 different occupations that would all be in a medieval port town. It took me, 2 minutes to get all that information. I will absolutely use AI for that because it pulls it fast. It's just the research. Now, do I ask it, write me a scene in this port town? No. God, no. That's a terrible ididea. But for research,
use AI for what people use Google for.
Right. It's just faster, and that's fine. I won't. I use spell checker, and that's not generative AI, but it's AI, and that's fine. But yeah, if you're trying to get to do the hard work for you of writing, why?
Yeah. And for artwork, I've gone on to AI before just to try out ideas, so that then I can take those to an artist and say, this is kind of the thing I'm thinking of. Something like that, because I have zero artistic ability. So if I can kind of get AI to give me kind of a look at what I like, then I take that to an artist and ask them to do it. Not copy it, but to use that as an idea going forward to do it.
Well, I echo exactly what you both said. Matter of fact, I actually have a video today on my YouTube channel where I called out people who use AI to literally write the book. In my stance on it is everybody has their feelings of AI. Some people are 100% against any use, even research, even the spell checking or anything. Then some are 100% AI. I think a lot of us fall somewhere in the spectrum, but I'm kind of aligned with the both of you that I've used it for research purposes. I use spell checking, things like that. I don't have a problem. For me, that's fine. But writing it, your prose. So in my video today, which ruffled a few feathers, I said, if somebody uses AI to write their book, they are a prompter, or they can call themselves a creator, but you can't call yourself an author. I got a few people upset because for them, they had written all the backstory, and they had written about their characters, and they had written about their world building, and they had done all this stuff, and they had even written a couple chapters that they could give to the AI to show them their writing style. So they were really upset that I would use the term prompter. But I didn't know what else to say. You're not doing the real work of being an author. You are being creative. You have some creativity. You can call yourself the creator, but you're not right. Those are not your words. Even if AI has read your sample of your writing to approximate your style, it's still doing the writing. You're not. I don't know how you could call yourself an author. That's my take.
And if they've done all the stuff that you just said that they said they did, just write the damn book. Right?
Thank you. That was my next thought. Is I had people talking about how they had journals of stuff and they had written 11 chapters, and I was thinking the same issue. If you're an indie author, there's no time limit. There's indie authors who take years to write a book. You're under no deadline other than your own self-imposed deadline. So like you said, if you've done all of that work, then you just take the next step and write the damn book. I agree.
The problem there is they're not storytellers, right? The people who run up against that and say, oh, I did this and that and this and that, but I wrote a couple chapters, it's because they have the blank of, oh my God, I don't know how to tell a story and make it go from A to B to C to end, and so they're kind of using that. Yeah, anybody that gets upset about that, right away that they've used it, but there are authors out there and pretty well known and established indie authors who freaking love AI for a variety of purposes short of actually writing it. Joanna Penn being the one that comes to mind for me. I listened to her podcast. She's been doing podcasts for over a decade now. A lot of great information, but she is just flying the banner for AI. And it's kind of annoying. I tend to skip a lot of that, when I listen to her podcast. But there are people who use it for a variety of reasons.
So have either of you, because I tried this last weekend just to see, I put the first chapter of one of my books into AI, and I said, write chapter 2, this is what happens, just to see what AI would do. Oh my God, do I feel better as an author? Because it was abysmal. Oh God, it was absolutely horrid. And I'm like, if you want to write a book using AI, okay, go for it. Because it's awful.
The last episode, Mike, we were talking a little bit about, how people who still hold traditional publishing up as better writing. And I think when ebook started, you had a flood of people who just weren't very good writers, putting a lot of not very good stuff out, right? And of course, that doesn't help the indie case at all when people can pull up a lot of examples of stuff that's just crap. I think what we're probably going to see over the next couple of years is that happening again with people who use AI to write their books, and people are going to read them not knowing what they're getting into and say, oh my God, this is horrible. And I think that's going to be a shot against indie authors again that we're going to have to overcome through time and perseverance, until this too shall pass. But yeah, there you go.
No, you're absolutely right. We're indie authors, you're up against it. And I think you guys might know better than me, but I think they said there's something like 2 million indie books published a year or something like that. And with the bar to entry so low that anyone can slap anything they want, yeah, chances are if you're not discerning as a reader and you just grab a bunch of indie books, you're probably going to get a lot of really badly written books just because there's so many out there. So yeah, we do have that stigma to fight against.
Yeah, but keep in mind that I was reading a thing about Edgar Allan Poe, and they said he probably managed to lose more money than he made in his entire writing career that's Edgar Allan Poe. So authors getting rich, it's never been the norm. So
he wasn't losing money because he wasn't selling books, though. I mean, Twain lost a lot of money too, but a lot of it was because he invested in really harebrained things, and people took him for a ride. Poe probably. I don't know much about Edgar Allan Poe, but I'm going to assume there was a little bit of laudanum use or something going on there.
And he died young, right? I mean,
yeah.
So,
well, he also wanted to marry his
make a lot of
niece,
money and spend it all. He
Yeah.
wasn't one.
he never made a lot of money, but he wanted to marry his niece. He was kind of creepy, which if you read his work, okay.
10 tracks.
It does.
So Russell, we should maybe talk about your books.
Sure.
You did that at the beginning.
Oh yeah, I know, for like a minute. So tell us about book one. Who are the people? What characters are even in it? We should probably mention that at least.
Yes. So
ogre guy.
Yeah, we have Grimlock, Grimlock, the half-scrawn ranger, and Vigilantin, the disgraced knight. So it's an adventure tale. It's sword and sorcery. It's like the old D&D, like the Salvatore books, like the Dragonlance books. Just that old school fantasy, fun adventure. Little darker than those books are. I like to say it's got like PG-13 as far as any sexual situations or profanity. It's pretty tame in that regard, but definitely R-rated for violence. A lot of eviscerations, heads getting lopped off, blood showering everywhere, all that kind of good stuff. But it's an adventure story. It's like Indiana Jones meets Gladiator in a fantasy setting. So I've got the two main characters run afoul of the Vrogoths, of which that's Rorgast is one of them. They're in the background, my background of the demon up here flying. They run afoul of the Vrogoths, who are seeking this ancient scepter. And with this scepter, they believe that they can bring dragons back to the world that will be under their control. Dragons haven't been, there are no dragons in the world, so nobody really believes this. But Vidge and Grim get pulled into this. Neither one of them were looking to be heroes. Both of them have a lot of baggage that they're dealing with, traumas with their families, a lot of father-son dynamics, brotherhood dynamics. And so they get kind of pulled along to stop the Vrogoths. So that's where it kind of follows like an Indiana Jones kind of pattern. So they're chasing after the Vrogoths as the Vrogoths are trying to get to the point that they need to do their ritual to, they believe, will hatch these dragon eggs. And so a lot of combat ensues, a lot of fighting, and a good amount of introspection that may not be expected in a book like this. You really get to delve deep into their characters, into their backstories, the issues that they're dealing with, the traumas. Grim is searching for his brother. He's a half-scrawn, so he had been rescued from his tribe years ago, but his brother was left behind, and he doesn't know what's happened to him. Vigilantin is a disgraced knight. He had been in the knighthood. He was kicked out. Now he's serving a crime lord in this frontier town, and he's kind of doing nefarious things and searching to reclaim kind of his lost honor. And so the book kind of follows them. And then they meet up with other heroes in the last third. We get Frelick and Alindra, Everly, some people they meet in the gladiatorial arena that join forces with them. And so it's a good old school adventure romp. I don't know what to call it. People always ask what genre it is. I'm old school, so for me, like when you guys were probably reading back in the 80s, fantasy was just fantasy. Like right. I don't always understand grim, dark, noble, bright. This subgenres. Yeah, this. So I kind of call it grim, dark, sword and sorcery, epic fantasy, I guess.
Well, the cover, it really does have. I mean, I see that cover and I just think, okay, this is a good old dungeon crawl. You know,
Yeah.
this is. It's interesting though that you said that there's blood spattering and gore and all that kind of stuff, and I think a lot of fantasy authors, myself included, and Mike too, will do all that, but by God, we won't swear. And swearing would be, they would be swearing all the time. Because, I mean, if you've ever met someone that's just come out of basic training, like all they do is swear, right? I mean, that's like their entire vocabulary. And sometimes it's quite a wide vocabulary too. It's an impressive, profane vocabulary. But these guys swinging swords and gutting people, you would think that swearing would just be like, like breathing to them if they were in that kind of situation. Yet we never do it in books because, I don't know, we're going to offend somebody or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that's strange. I can only assume it's our kind of what we grew up reading. So if you're reading the books in the late 70s and then you're reading fantasy in the 80s, I think it felt like back then maybe the books were written with a younger audience in mind, or teenagers, for example, because back then, remember, at least I don't recall, there wasn't a category of YA or mid-grade fantasy, and it was just fantasy was fantasy. And I think there was the assumption by the publishers, and I'm just spitballing, that it was going, it's fantasy, it's for kids, it's for teenagers. So the authors of that day refrained from excessive swearing, excessive sexual situations, because they figured kids were going to read the book, teenagers. And I think
read those books and mouthed off like swearing or whatever, they get back at the, don't you say that in my house.
Exactly. Now, of course, nowadays the books, they have a bunch of them that have the swearing, but because I'm older school and that's what I was used to, I kind of just gravitated towards no swearing, keep it PG-13.
All right.
I mean, I would say for me,
that's my next thing.
I would say for me, if they're swearing all the time, I'm like, well, this fictional world of yours, they would not have the same swear words as us. So if you want to make up in-world swear words, fine.
At some point, though, it's like we were talking the other day about units of measurement and all that kind of thing. Sometimes you just have to use what people know, so it's like.
No, I will not. For all Pertani, I actually did a search for feet, inches, miles, and I took all that out, and it's 1 yard becomes a step, and I just use 20 yards as the height of a tree. I just I was like, leagues, wonderful leagues. I don't know what that is, but they had to go several.
What does your guy turn into though?
An owl.
But why would they call them owls?
Because I don't know what the Pertani word for
is. So there you go.
In my editor, when I tried to call a hedgehog by the Celtic names, you're like, dude, just call it a hedgehog.
Yeah, and that's part of it. I think it's the same thing with swearing. I mean, fuck is fuck is fuck is fuck, right?
Yeah.
And everybody gets that. And shit, come on, that's going to be pretty
fine.
universal.
But if you're using that all the time, it's just going to pop me right out of the story, and I'll DNF. Not that I need more excuses to DNF.
You don't have to use it all the time, but I'm saying that there are times, like if somebody ambushes you, and it's like the old Bill Cosby thing said, you go and get into a car accident. First you say it, then you do it. It's.
Hey, I've got a question.
What's that?
I got a question for you two then, because Mike just brought up a good, interesting thing, because I see this pop up on X, social media, all the time about DNFing books. There's a lot of people who are definitely strictly of the opinion they do not DNF a book no matter what. They will finish it, whatever. I always come out exactly. My thought is, I'm reading for pleasure. If this isn't pleasurable, if I'm forcing myself or I'm not even thinking about the book to want to pick it up, I'll DNF it. So what is your thought, Ro? How do you fall on that?
He'd have to read books first.
Well, no, it has to be super atrocious for me not to finish it. And simply because I guess it's that Catholic guilt, that you're going to do your penance, right? You picked it up. You were the dummy that opened it. Mm-hmm. So it's your obligation to finish it. And I guess maybe you're just trying to find some redeeming quality. It's like, tell me I didn't waste, these first 20 chapters reading this, and so I'm going to read the last 20 chapters.
20 chapters? Oh my God! I DNF by 4, if not
try
sooner.
To find something. Yeah, but when I read fantasy, I'll give it time to world build, man. I don't need to have everything fed to me in the first freaking 2 chapters.
Give me a short book.
A short book. Okay, a short book's different, right? But
yeah,
exactly, Tim. The sunk cost fallacy, exactly it. But I am getting better where I'm kind of getting to that age now where it's like I've got many fewer years ahead of me than I have behind me, so I don't have time for this shit anymore.
Yeah, I fall between the two of you, right? Like I'll give it more than 4 chapters. I'll give it a third or a half the book to see if something's hooking me. But yeah, if nothing's hooking me and I've read 150 pages or something, I'm done, because of, just like you said, I've got a TBR pile so big, I'm not going to be able to finish it in the next 2 years, and I keep adding to it because I'm trying to support other indie authors. I keep adding. I'm not going to be able to finish what I've got, so I'm not going to slog through something that's not gripping me.
I'm better at DNFing TV shows, right? So, like, have you seen Severance?
I have.
I know Mike hasn't. So the first season of Severance is like, 5 years ago, that was really good, right? And the second season finally came out, and I watched, the first 4 episodes, and it's kind of like, give me something, give me some progression with these episodes, because, my son and my wife were watching it and they were just right into it still. And I'm like, just tell me what happens, because it's annoying watching the show for 45 minutes and you're no further along than you were when you started. And you might be able to say, okay, for 1 episode, but when that's 2-3 episodes in a row, it's like, now they're just playing me for a fool. And I don't need that. And it's like, show with Walter White.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
Breaking Bad. Yeah, everybody talked about that, so I started watching it, and I got 6 episodes into it. And I went, yeah, it's okay, but I never went back to it. It's nothing I feel drawn to go back to. So
interesting. For me, the streaming, what is killing streaming is the point you made about Severance taking whatever it was 2 years to get to the next season. The streamings are so Stranger Things, what just came out. And I think it's been 3 years since the last episode. The kids are all adults now. They have mustaches, and you're like, you can't make an audience wait 2 and 3 years. We've moved on by that point. Like, I don't remember the story. I'm not connected to it anymore. I don't understand what takes them so long nowadays. I don't get it.
What happened at the end of Severance? Did it come to a conclusion?
I stopped. I watched the first couple episodes of season 2, like you said, and then I stopped.
You just okay. So
yeah. I was going to say,
if anybody knows what happened, feel free to drop it in the chat and let us know how it ended.
If you want to make people wait 2 years to find out what happens next, you got to be an author. And just last time I checked the stats, I started 70 books this year, and I've completed 36.
Ooh,
so
man. 50%.
Wow, 50%.
Damn.
Yeah. So yeah, I have, and I know, Russell, I saw you put on Twitter that now if you start another indies book, you don't say anything because you may DNF it. I have no problem. I'll start. If I don't finish, I don't start. I don't finish. You got a 50% chance. I mean, and it's just me. If I don't finish your book, are you going to feel bad about that? Why would you? So
real quick, Russell, tell us about this dog walking author thing. What's your YouTube channel about?
Okay, dog walking author. It's me walking my 2 German Shepherds. Been doing that for years now, since COVID. In the mornings, I was able to work from home, so I had the opportunity to, instead of commuting to work, I could walk the dogs. And somewhere early last year, late last year, I got in the habit of I would see something on X before I would go out for the walk that would spark me, and I was thinking, I want to respond to that. But I'm on the walk, and then I thought, I'm just grab my phone, and I'm just going to speak into the camera, and I'm just going to start giving you my thoughts on some topic. And that's how it started. It was just videos here and there I would post randomly with thoughts, usually about writing, something someone would say, was probably some rule somebody would say, you've got to show, don't tell. And I would be thinking, yeah, but in some cases, and then I would blurt it out in this video. And then I've slowly refined it over the years. So yeah, it's just my videos where it's whatever I'm thinking about. Usually about 50 to 60% of them have to do with writing topics. So today's topic was AI, because I got down a rabbit hole yesterday watching videos of people explaining how to use AI to write their book. And it got me fired up. And so this morning on the walk, I'm like, no, I got to come out and I'm just going to say, you're using AI to write your prose. You're not an author. And so that's how that video went. Sometimes I'll rant about, I'm a Dallas Cowboys football fan. Feel sorry for me. Yeah, feel sorry. And so I ranted about them one video. I've ranted some about the MCU and the DC universe and how, Star Wars and how that's kind of fallen. And so I'll do some pop culture topics, mix them in sometimes. And so it's just, they're usually short. I keep the videos under 2.5 minutes so I can upload them to X and YouTube. And so it's a fun thing. A lot of people seem to like it. I've got a lot of people telling me, not a huge following yet, but pretty devoted, with folks who seem to enjoy it.
Nice.
So Russell, quick question for you. Were you like most intelligent people in this country, and yesterday you were a Bills fan?
Oh, of course. 100%.
Okay.
Yeah, 100%. Look, the Patriots had their time. Come on, we do not need another Patriots dynasty.
Yeah,
you guys have had enough.
No. It's a brand new cast of characters.
You guys have had 6 Super Bowls.
The only person on that team that has anything to do with that is the coach.
Well, I know. No, don't get me wrong. But we don't need the team itself. The Patriots. We're done. We're done.
You can say that all you want. The Cowboys will be watching the Patriots in the playoffs.
We're watching everybody. We're not going to win anything till Jerry Jones is gone, till he's dead.
Oh my God! Yeah, you guys need a new general manager more than anything else.
Yeah, that's not,
no doubt about that.
But come on, the Boston fans, you guys, are there any more kind of
just
the Patriots?
I'm a Patriots fan.
Okay. Well, because the Boston fans, right, for years it was crying about everything. Oh, the Red Sox don't win, even though the Celtics had won all these championships in the 80s and then got another one. And now you've had the Red Sox have won championships and the Patriots 6 Super Bowls, and the Celtics have still been winning titles. And, the poor Boston fans, like, what do you mean poor Boston fans? Because they're winning all the time.
Yeah, I'm not a Red Sox fan or a or a Bruins fan or a Celtics fan. So.
Okay, that's good.
I'm from a different part of New England, so we get to kind of pick and choose. So there's a lot more Montreal teams involved in my sports sphere.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I won't. I mean, I'm in Sacramento. We only have one team, and it's one of the worst teams in all team sports.
Oh, that's still a team, right? Yeah, you got a basketball team or something, right?
Yeah, the Sacramento Kings, if you can call them a professional basketball team.
Yeah, they'll move someday.
They tried it about 10 years ago, and they kept them here, built them a stadium, and they're still here and still losing. So I don't know.
Right.
Yeah, but how about those Expos?
Yeah.
How long has it been?
It's been a long time. How long? I don't know. How long have the freaking Nationals been around? It's been like 20 years or something.
I don't know. I quit watching baseball. The Expos were still there, and the Brewers were in the American League. And I look back, and now the Brewers are in the National League, and there are no Expos. I don't understand.
Yeah, I'll care about baseball when the Expos come back.
So
then,
forget it. No, I've never been a huge baseball fan. I used to watch a lot of the NBA, watch the NFL, love the boxing, MMA, things like that. But
yeah. I remember as a kid watching ABC Wide World of Sports, but it was never a very wide world. Even then, it's like, come on, there's lots of cool sports in the world, and they never showed any of it. I mean, I would love to be flipping through the stations and find a cricket match.
Oh God, why?
Oh, because cricket's great. Dude, shit happens all the time in cricket.
But remember, Wild World of Sports, you could actually click on Wild World of Sports and see Muhammad Ali fighting on like free TV. Crazy, but it happened. Yeah.
But nothing will beat when ESPN first came and they had to show Australian rules football because they didn't have any other content. That was great.
Oh, get off my lawn. All right, enough of the old folks show.
I know. Do we have anybody young watching at this point?
So Russell's book, Relentless Blades, which looks awesome. Great cover. And his newest, book 2 of this series, Ashbound Oaths. And book 3 is hopefully next year sometime.
Fingers crossed it'll be sometime in the fall of next year. We'll see.
So you got plenty of time to read these 2 books. And right now, for the next day or so, you said they are on tremendous sale where you can get a hardback for the price of a paperback, yeah?
Correct. Hardbacks, $19.99. Well, Relentless Blades, Ashbound Oaths, a little more, $20.99. And the paperbacks are only $12.99. These are 450, 460-page books you're getting for $12.99.
So, Mike, Lucas, under your 500 limit. There you go.
I don't understand what Lucas is saying here, but I'm going to nod anyway.
Rorgast is the big bad of book 1, Relentless Blades. So he's the 4-armed Vrogoth demon there.
Okay.
That is Rorgast. He gets, so it's kind of a spoiler, he's alive in the second book, and he gets his own POV chapters in the second book. So you get to go inside the villain's mind and see what happens to a villain. Let me try to say it without like total spoilers for the Relentless Blades, but you get to go inside the mind of the villain and see what happens when his plans did not go exactly as he planned them, and has to go back to his boss, the Emperor, and explain why the plan didn't go to plan.
Nice. That's always a fun trip. Being able to see their point of view. It's like, well, why don't we just put them with some laser sharks or something? It's like, no, let's not let them get away.
Yeah, no, it was fun. I had a lot more fun than I thought writing for Rorgast. I mean, it's fun writing for the villains and getting inside their mind, and because the villains, they're the heroes of their own story, right? So he has his agenda, he has his thought of what things went down and why he was attempting to bring these dragons back to the world, because hey, the Vrogoths used to rule the world of Zaru. So for his way of thinking, the humans and the Inklai and the other races have pushed them out of what was rightfully their land. So in their mind, why shouldn't they be able to get these dragons who they think will increase their power so they can push back and take over what they think belongs to them?
Nice.
Cool.
All right. So before you go buy those books, if you're new here, and a few of you are, please take a sec and go click the subscribe button to the channel. Even if you never come back, just, we're petty like that. Just click the button. We do come back, of course. That would be nice. But please do that, and then go pick up Russell's books. And then you can join Mike and I, or just Mike, back here again on Thursday at 9 p.m. Well, we will have a very special guest, Miss Cinnapalm.
And we will have Chris, the Bearded Book Beast, and E.L. Montague will be live as well.
All right.
And to give you a preview, what happens when you put the BBB with B&B? You get and that's what you can expect on Thursday.
All right.
You guys have a goated lineup coming up, to use Lucas's term. That's a good thing. You have a goated lineup.
Okay.
It'll be fun. Russell, thank you very much for hanging out with us, and thank to all of you for spending an hour and a quarter of your time with us. We appreciate it. And we will.
Hey, I had a blast. Thanks, guys.
We'll see you hopefully on Thursday.
Okay. Time to wave awkwardly as we wait for